I'm coming from. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN, but I'm not the boss. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there.
What is up, world? Welcome back, Charge the Game podcast. And Stephen A. Smith and ESPN begin the depart from Shannon Sharpe. And this is how. All right, guys. So we all know that Stephen A. Smith, man, this guy has a very shady character. I tell you guys all the time that Stephen A. Smith is one hell of a middleman. And we all know that he lives and dies by his employers at ESPN. And I believe in this video attempt with Stephen A. Smith trying to come out and act like, you know, Shannon Sharpe's my boy, this and this, he still is going to set the record straight. And I'm telling you guys, I don't think that Stephen A. Smith is trying to support Shannon Sharpe. Obviously, we don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but we do know this. This is too big for ESPN to ignore. And who best to deliver a temporary layoff message better than Stephen A. Smith?
It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week.
Yo, Stephen A. Smith really kills me trying to play like the sympathy act, putting his head down. And I'm going to tell you guys what I really do think Stephen A. Smith is smiling behind Shannon Sharpe's back, and why I think that Stephen A. Smith, give it up. It's just that he does this thing. He did this with LeBron James. I had no intentions on coming out here to discuss it, but I saw that it went viral. The next morning I woke up. Come on, guys. Stephen A. Smith really kills me with this sympathetic act or personality he displays. But let's keep going.
To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take.
Right there, y'all, is where things are about to take a turn. And you can see and sense with Stephen A. Smith that they are not trying to bag Shannon Sharpe. Instead of the CEOs coming down to speak or do what Stephen A. Smith is doing, they're just going to make Stephen A. Smith troll out here and do it, because Stephen A. Smith wears about 10 hats at ESPN. He's the face, rightfully so. You already said 13 years in a row, been number one. They're going to use Stephen A. Smith to pretty much say, hey, let us do our proper investigation, and we're going to send you home with pay. And if anyone has ever been terminated or in the process of being investigated, you already know how the outcome is going to go. This is too much public scrutiny for ESPN. And ESPN has been woke for the last few years. And even this is too much for them right now. I would be highly surprised if Mr. Shannon Sharpe is on TV next Monday and Tuesday, which is why I believe Stephen A. Smith has been told to come out here and make this video on their behalf, because they don't want the backlash. They don't want the backlash from the black community saying that, there's no proof. Why is the white man laying the black man off? Because you know how today's times are, right? Everything is about race. They're going to use Stephen A. Smith. You can't say nothing if this guy's black. He's the one delivering the harsh news, not us. But I want you guys to keep listening.
So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach.
Oh, really?
Because I owe them that courtesy.
This man.
And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place, because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person.
Which is fair. Okay. It's pretty fair to stay in the middle right now. Even though day one, it looked like Shannon Sharpe was completely in the clear. I told you guys that there will be more to this story and that this thing will continue to unfold. And Shannon Sharpe, who knows? In my mind, I believe he knows that this young lady has so much evidence. We are definitely going to do multiple videos on the new audio recordings that have come out. I believe Shannon Sharpe knew that this young lady has a lot of firepower in that text or that phone she has, right? And Shannon Sharp did himself a disservice. It was a grievous act for him to go out there and drop and name drop all of those texts because that's only one side of the story. But you tried to jump out in front of it before things got crazy. And then come to find out you tried to pay it off. I mean, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, they are slowly easing you out that door. I'm telling y'all, I seriously doubt Shannon Sharp is going to maintain his job. But hey, you know, we'll see.
I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time.
19 years old. I mean, I know that most successful men, they like them young. Most men in general like women young. Shannon Sharp, man, come on. Like, what the hell? Seriously, 19 years old. Of course she's going to play games. Of course she's going to be full of SHIT. Of course. But some people just give in too much to their own flesh. And those flesh demons, man, they eat away at the spirit, man. The spirit isn't strong enough to make rational decisions because you're thinking with the other head, right? And don't get me wrong, any woman of age would be liable to do what this young lady is doing, but shame on Shannon Sharp, man. For you to be in your 50s trying to talk to a 19-year-old, that's a bit, I don't know, man. I know people out there, you know, she's 18, she's illegal, but what about the code of conduct, man? What about, you know, I remember Shannon Sharp bringing his daughter on the show. I mean, what would you do if some man your age was trying to talk to your daughter at 19? I just think that, you know, Shannon Sharp would be a little more different if that was the case, right? But because it's him thinking selfishly for himself, look at the predicament he's found himself in.
Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. Going on the offensive to defend himself, I completely understand where Shannon Sharp is coming from. On the other hand, when his legal team issued out press release on X yesterday, and they mentioned her name, and they revealed some of those explicit text messages, that was uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's a strategy that would work.
Now, hearing Stephen A. Smith say this, he's making it even worse himself. Because ideally, you know, you will want ESPN and all of the counterparts there to have your back. But like I said, guys, what Shannon Sharp did to hurry up and try to put out the fire before it started only made the fire worse. Okay? This young lady has too much ammo for his ass right now. All right? And Stephen A. Smith, these ESPN owners of Disney, they know. And even, guys, even if Shannon Sharp is innocent for the most part, right? Because he is innocent until proven guilty. That is the American justice system. This story is so much blunder and BS and so much drama and so much unnecessary, unwanted attention. They have to take things into perspective and potentially release Shannon Sharp or terminate Shannon Sharp. Stephen A. Smith is trying to lighten the blow by letting Shannon Sharp and the world know that a change is coming. And he's going to allude to that in this video. Now, Shannon Sharp, he should have thought about it, man. You should have thought about it. Even the decision to talk to this young lady after the first few flags, you should have known. This seems like something that could have been easily avoided. But, hey, man, we all make mistakes and we all must learn. And this just may be the demise of Shannon Sharp. Because if Shannon Sharp is found guilty, or the fact that TMZ is letting everything go right now, TMZ has so much audio recordings, so much documentations. They are literally killing Shannon Sharp right now. And all Shannon Sharp had to do was be quiet. That's all he had to do was be quiet. But because he opened his mouth and he's so sensitive, the same way he was when people was calling him zesty, he was going at all these other comedians and rappers and this and that. I think that Shannon Sharp, man, dude just may lose it all. That's crazy. Such a media icon right now. And the fact that his past, guys, that's what's making it worse. His past mimics the same behaviors.
One of the hardest things in the world for all of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet. And let our legal team do it. And we don't always know whether or not that's the right thing to do. I know, and I can tell you all that I spoke to Shannon, not in details, but I spoke to him, and he emphatically proclaims his innocence.
What would you want a guy to do? Come out and say, yeah, I did it? This young lady may be willing to settle. You know, like, I'm not going to come out here and say I did it. You know, like, I might as well just turn myself in. Like, of course he's going to say that. Only time will tell, though. I mean, this thing is going to get ugly, guys. This story is going to continue to develop. And we don't know, man, you know, what's going to be the outcome. But we know that ESPN, they're all about their ratings. And if their ratings take a hit because of this, he's definitely going to be out the door.
Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt.
Wow.
So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Now, I'm going to ask you guys out there. Drop those comments in the comment section. Make sure you guys are subscribing. What do you think this means? Hey, Shannon Sharp, you my dog. I like you. We cool, but I ain't finna jeopardize my career for nobody. And we all know that Stephen A. Smith is a guy who prides himself, even said out of his own mouth, I wake up every day and think of ways to make money for my bosses and then for myself. Stephen A. Smith is a loyal dog, loyal pet. Let me not say dog. He's a loyal pet to his bosses, as he speaks of, right? He has probably had conversations where him and the people that are over ESPN, Disney, probably said, hey, push come to shove, we're going to have to get rid of this guy. Stephen A. Smith is well aware of what's about to go down. That's why he isn't backing Shannon Sharp. Now, he's going to come out here and do these things like he's doing now to make Shannon Sharp feel like, oh, yeah, I got this brother in my corner. But Shannon Sharp knows Stephen A. Smith's character. Shannon Sharp just plays his role and plays dumb, but he knows that Stephen A. Smith is not in his corner. And I think that most of the sports world, they know that. Casual fans know that. Stephen A. Smith hasn't made any sport-related topics in the last few days. It's all been about politics. But this, he can't ignore because his bosses won't allow him to ignore it. And plus, it's great content. So he's going to come out here and defend his ESPN First Take throne. He has to come out here and announce and let us know that, hey, I'm the executive producer of First Take. Hey, I went and got Shannon Sharp. And he may ultimately play a role in releasing Shannon Sharp. But just stay tuned. I'm telling you, you guys know how this goes. If it doesn't matter what job you have. When people are ready to get you out the door, they do it in ways, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not going to be in immediately unless this was that egregious. You're terminated. It's going to be, we kind of like you. We understand where we are in society. Everybody's kind of going to make it a racial issue. Yeah, we're going to let Stephen A. Smith lay the bones, but then we're going to deliver the final blow. You guys will see. Trust me. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. Right. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro. What I tell y'all? Who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously. And what do y'all think Stephen A. Smith said in those discussions? Do you guys seriously think Stephen A. Smith had Shannon Sharp's back? This is a guy who got rid of Max Kellerman. This is a guy who's gone against NBA players, gotten money taken from them. Seriously. And you know what else I think deep down?
Stephen A. Smith wants to be the center of attention. I believe that having Shannon Sharpe is cool and all, but Shannon Sharpe is immensely more talented than Stephen A. Smith. So any chance that Stephen A. Smith can, use Shannon Sharpe, get those ratings up, and use him for his talent and then get rid of him, I think Stephen A. Smith would do that. I sure do. You guys let me know what y'all think.
And we are looking into this very, very closely.
Mm.
And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there.
Laying them bones, man. Laying the bones for the final blow. That's all this is. This is HR 1-on-1, okay? Stephen A. Smith knows what's about to happen. We'll see what happens Monday. He says that him and Shannon Sharpe, they work together every Monday and Tuesday. We're going to see. I've talked to the boss. I've talked to the owner. I talked to the CEO. And I'm going to tell you guys something else. You guys remember when Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James were going at it? Did it look like Shannon Sharpe had Stephen A. Smith's back? No, it did not. In fact, Stephen A. Smith is rightfully doing what Shannon Sharpe did. Shannon Sharpe couldn't resist that topic. He goes to Nightcap. He goes on the line. He goes out there and say, hey, Stephen A. Smith ain't gonna do shit to LeBron. And if I'm Stephen A. Smith, I don't forget stuff like that. And right now, I got the on you. You in some hot shit right now, Shannon Sharpe. And this guy, Stephen A. Smith, has a lot to do with your First Take career right now.
In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is and how emphatic his client is proclaiming that she is right and she's telling the truth.
It doesn't seem like this is about to be the way that it goes down. What does that tell y'all? Seriously, what does that say? That means, in my opinion, Stephen A. Smith won't flat out say this, but I guarantee you behind closed doors, Stephen A. Smith and these ESPN Disney owners and whoever have these, stakes or stakeholders in the company, they don't want anything to do with Mr. Shannon Sharpe right now. Not right now. They're using Stephen A. Smith as a pundit to come out here and prepare the sports world for the departure of Shannon Sharpe. Now, you guys may feel differently, but if that wasn't the case, I don't think that Stephen A. Smith would have made this video. You got permission to make a video on a topic on your own podcast. That's how I know that I'm not too far off here.
How wise is it to use those kind of words when a civil matter of this nature is out there? When you have a podcast and you have advertisers and sponsors and you work for ESPN and they have advertising sponsors, I don't know. I spoke on this issue. It's because he works with me 2 days a week. He's on national television. He was on national television with me today. He was on national television with me yesterday when the story came out Sunday night. I didn't know anything about it until we got on the air. I know I got love for the brother. I know that I'm wishing that he's innocent and all of this stuff goes away and he can continue to thrive with me on ESPN and thrive in his own platforms that he worked so diligently over the years to build. But anything else would be entirely irresponsible for me to speak on.
So after listening to Stephen A. Smith give us a bunch of word salad, word soup, whatever you guys want to call it, there were a few takeaways from this. One, Stephen A. Smith is going to always cover his ass. Two, anything associated with Stephen A. Smith that brings him shame, he's going to distance himself from it. Three, he does not have Shannon Sharpe back. Four, neither do the owners of ESPN Disney. Five, OKC. And five, May, hey, Mayday. Payday, Mayday, yay yay, it's over with for Uncle Shay Shay. You guys, no, for real, man. That was pretty creative. But you guys let me know what y'all think about everything that I just spoke of in this video. Does it seem like Stephen A. Smith and ESPN are backing Shannon Sharpe, or rather trying to distance themselves to deliver the final blow and let Mr. Sharpe go? Or do you guys just seem a bit flustered? Maybe some of you guys are neutral, or maybe you guys just want to continue to wait until more evidence is revealed. As I told you guys, we're going to keep following this story. We'll be making other videos about the recent articles and audios that TMZ has released. If you guys have found any value to the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and also hit that like, share, and notification bell so you guys can get more future content as this story continues to develop. Thank you guys for watching, and remember guys, innocent until proven guilty. See you in the next one. Peace.